I am fighting a slump. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and like I said, I am fighting a slump right now. I don't know what I want to read. The stuff on my TBR isn't appealing to me. I just finished a 620 page book that I gave 6 stars. It was absolutely phenomenal, and now I'm just in the book hangover phase that like I want to read, but I don't know what I want to read, and I don't want to go into a slump because of it, because I was already kind of slumping to begin with. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of go back to basics, and I'm gonna choose something from my jar. So if you have not been here before, the red slips in here are my oldest books, the orange are my second oldest, the purple ones are all from last year, and the green ones are books that I've hauled this year. So most likely I'm going to try and get a green one, but we'll see kind of how this goes. I have so many books that I've gotten this year. Erebus 13 by David Wellington just came out yesterday, so I do plan on buying that. Sarah Beth Durst's new book, Sea of Charms, is going to be coming out at the end of the month. I cannot wait for that. But right now I don't know what I want to read. So in a minute, babe. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to pick a slip from the jar, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the first chapter and see if it's something that I'm in the mood for right now or not. See if it hooks me, and we'll kind of go from there. If not, I'll come back and I'll talk to you guys about it, but let's see what we get. So I am going to say a green one, hopefully, like I said. Let's go with this one right here. All right, what does that say? The Lost Tomb by Douglas Preston. Okay, I can tell you right now that I'm not in the mood for that one. That one is a nonfiction. It's an archaeological nonfiction, but it is nonfiction, and I know that I'm not in the mood for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set that off to the side. We're gonna pick another one. Let's go with another green one. Aisha by Saara, oh my goodness, I still can't say this, Bozawe? I'm not sure how to say that. Alright, so that one is right here. This is a Feminine Rage one that Orbit Publishing came out with. Usually I love books from Orbit. So this one, it says, the Portuguese Empire has planted its flag across Morocco, ruling with an iron fist. Aisha, a freedom fighter's daughter, witnesses the suffering and death of her people, and it awakens an anger within her. An anger that burns hot and bright and that speaks to Aisha's soul. Only Aisha's secret lover and fellow rebel, Rashid, can soothe her. But as the fight for Morocco's freedom reaches its violent climax, the creature that simmers beneath Aisha's skin begs to be unleashed. It hungers for the screams of those who have caused her pain, and it will not be ignored. So it sounds really, really good. I did really want to try and get to this one this month. Again, I absolutely love anything from Orbit most of the time, so I do really want to read this one. So I'm going to read the first chapter in this, and then I will decide if I want to continue on with it. If I decide to continue on with it, I will check back in with you when I have my initial thoughts, and if not, I'll be back soon. So wish me luck.
Hi, Mom.
And hopefully it'll be a little bit before I talk to you guys, because this one hooked me. So I will talk to you at some point, hopefully soon. Okay, so I have been trying to read Aisha for the last few hours, even through a power outage that lasted for about an hour and a half. And I am on chapter 4, 64 pages in. And to be completely honest with you, I have no interest in this book right now. So this book is about Aisha, obviously, who her father is like a big part of a rebellion, and it's talking about how they are it's a Muslim type of situation, or Muslim based type of situation, and he's part of an uprising and a rebellion, and her older sister, their dad is a blacksmith and he makes weapons, and they are a part of this in ways, but she's not involved as much as her older sister. Her older sister will run errands, run messages, steal things like that, along with her boyfriend doing the same thing as her older sister. So she's not as involved, but she also has this kind of like darkness in her that keeps threatening to get out. It keeps threatening violence and makes her want to do awful things to bad people, basically. And 60 some pages into this book, and I have no interest in this, and I'm really sad about it. I was really hoping with this that I would get sucked into it and then I would be super involved in it, and I'm just not. I've read enough of this that I don't know if I want to unhaul it or not. I don't know if I do, because I feel like it might just be a me thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll look at some reviews, see kind of what reviews say, but I feel like I'm barely following this story and I have no interest in it. The boyfriend that she has, they're already in an established relationship, so there's nothing there that makes me interested in their relationship. And so I'm just not, I don't know, I'm just not into this. So I don't know if this one is going to be for me. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to this one or not, which really sucks because I love this cover. I usually do love books from Orbit. This is one that I bought. I was really excited to get it and try it out. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So either way, I am going to pick something else to try out for this evening. It is just about 6 o'clock now. So I have a few hours that I could get some reading in, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick something else because that one is just not doing it. And maybe it's because it's like a cultural thing that like I don't follow. Like, I don't fully know a lot about that religion or like their beliefs and their thoughts and like everything, but I don't know, it's just not working for me. So we're gonna pick another one. We're gonna go for another green one here. Kissed by the Gods by Katie Brogan. Okay, where did I just put this one? Right here. Right here. Okay, so I just got this one. I'm actually really excited for this book. It's got really pretty sprayed edges. It's got some really sweet end papers. And this one, it says, Survival Rebel Weapon. Lena has spent a lifetime submitting, starving, and amid wheat fields reserved for the king, standing by while his men crush her loved ones. When soldiers come for her brother, her divine fury erupts in a bloody massacre. She expects to be executed for her crimes. Her people have met bloody ends for far less. Instead, Riot, a God's blessed warrior born to privilege, delivers her to a military fortress renowned for its brutality. There, a gift from a goddess drags Lena into a realm of war where her survival depends on her ability to ride a winged horse. As Riot pushes her to master the power she never asked for, a battle rages within her heart. Each lesson, every touch, binds them tighter. But love is a dangerous weakness in a world designed for war. Soon, Lena must decide how much she's willing to sacrifice to protect the family she has found and the one she left behind, because while her divine gift could save the kingdom, it could also shatter its very foundation. So, definitely really excited. I am very intrigued about the military fortress that she gets into. I'm very intrigued by that. I'm hoping that there might be like training montages in here. I have no idea. But I'm going to try this one out. We'll see if I get sucked into this one or not. I am going to debate on what I want to do with Aisha. I just don't know if it's going to be for me, guys. I might just end up unhauling it because it's space on my shelves, and if I'm 60 pages into it and I'm not really all that interested, I don't know if I want to keep it, which really sucks. But I don't know. I'm going to think on it, and then I will try and start Kissed by the Gods, and we'll see how this goes. So, hey guys, so I am back again. It's the same evening. I haven't actually started this yet, so I was going to, and then I really got to thinking about it, and honestly, like, as much as I want to read Kissed by the Gods, I don't think now is the time to do it. Like I said, I just finished reading like a 6-star book that was a fantasy romance, and I think that I need a different genre. I don't think I'll be able to get into anything the same way that I was able to get into that one. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold off on starting this one for right now. And I'm going to draw out of the jar again. And we're going to go for, you know, potentially like horror or thriller or just something maybe that's not, or sci-fi, like something that's not a fantasy romance. Because I want to be able to do that one justice. I want to be able to fully enjoy it. And especially with the mood that I'm in right now, with not knowing what I want to pick up and having just read that really, really great book, I just don't think I'd be able to do it justice. So here we are. Once again, we're going to choose something different from the jar. Hopefully it'll go well. And maybe I'll actually finish a book for this vlog. Maybe. We'll see. It's day one, so we'll see. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to choose something different. I'm not going to go for a classic because I'm not going to be into a classic right now. Sorry for the glare. Our internet is not wanting to cooperate for a movie tonight, so everybody's kind of packing it in early for tonight. It's 9 o'clock and everybody's tired, so. Alright, so we got an orange one. What is that? The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I actually started listening to this one on audio for the video that I was working on. And I want to read it physically. But this is not what I want to read right now. I don't want to read about a old Hollywood movie star. There is a new James Patterson book that's out. Sorry, my daughter is helping. There is a new James Patterson book that he did in combination, like about Marilyn Monroe, which I'm kind of curious about. I don't really, yeah. I don't really read a lot of James Patterson, but have any of you read that new Marilyn Monroe, like, I don't remember if it's like The Death of Her or like The Last 3 Days or whatever it is, by James Patterson and somebody else. I'm very curious about if it's very good because I love Marilyn Monroe. Okay, anyways, side note. Man-Eaters by Peter Capstick. Do I want to read a hunting book right now? Not really. I don't really want to read nonfiction. I love Peter Capstick, but I feel like I need to be in the right mindset for that. Maybe I should, because with all the wildfires going on right now, I'm starting to wonder about how hunting season is going to go. Hopefully it'll still go well. Alright, let's try this again. Whoops, I dropped it. Okay, so we have a green. Cleopatra by Saara El Arifi. Do I want to read that one? It's historical fantasy.
I picked
It's Egyptian. I do really want to read it.
Mama picked purple.
You did pick purple. So we have Cleopatra. So, okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I will take this in. I will read the first chapter of it. But I'm going to find a horror or thriller as well. And then I'll choose between those. Does that work? Hopefully that works, because I think that's what I'm going to do, because I really, really, really want to read this one, and it's not very long, and I think it's different enough that I can really, really enjoy it, but I'm not sure. So I really want to read this, but I'm going to set this one next to me for a minute, and we're going to try again. Alright, so we got a purple. What does that say? Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. Okay, perfect. So this... Okay, sit down, please.
Okay.
Which one did you get?
Green.
Green. It was The Lost Tomb by Douglas Preston. Okay, so we have Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. This one is on my 26 for 2026. I do really, really, really want to read this one. This one is... I'm not sure if it's horror or if it's thriller, kind of a horror-thriller mix. I'm not entirely sure. It is about an island, I believe, that everybody is set in living in a specific year in the 90s. And then I think somebody goes missing. It says, on a creepy island where everyone has a strange obsession with the year 1994, a newcomer arrives hoping to learn the truth about her son's death. Clifford Island. When Willowstone finds these words written on the floor of her deceased son's bedroom, she's perplexed. She's never heard of it before, but soon learns it's a tiny island off Wisconsin's Door County Peninsula, 200 miles from Willow's home. Why would her son write this on his floor? Hoping to find answers, Willow sets out for the island. After a few days on Clifford, Willow realizes this place is not normal. Everyone seems to be stuck in 1994. They wear outdated clothing, avoid modern technology, and perhaps most mystifyingly, watch the O.J. Simpson car chase every evening. When she asks questions, people are evasive, but she learns one thing: close your curtains at night.
Hey, Mama.
So it sounds really, really good, and this is exactly what I was hoping for. Horror, thriller, something I know that I really, really want to read. And I'm really, really hoping that I love this. I want to love this so, so much. I know he has a new book out. Is it out yet, or is it coming out? I think it is already out. He has a newer book coming out because I think it came out at the end of 2025, but I do want to read this one first, see if I like it. This one has caught my eye since it came out, and I've been wanting to try it. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to take Cleopatra. So Cleopatra, I didn't read the blurb on this one. It says, "You know my name, but you do not know me. Your historians call me seductress, but I was ever in love's thrall. Your playwrights speak of witchcraft, but my talents came from the gods themselves. Your poets sing of my bloodlust, but I was always protecting my children. How willfully they refuse to concede that a woman can be powerful, strategic, and divinely blessed to rule. Death will silence me no longer. This is not the story of how I died, but how I lived." So this sounds absolutely amazing. It's kind of a historical look at Cleopatra, and I'm very curious about this book, and I'm also very, very, very excited for this one. So I'm going to take both of these in. We're going to go in and lay in bed and watch a movie, and I'm going to see which one kind of draws me in. I'm going to pick one of these two. I need to pick something for this video because things are just not going my way. I told my husband, and I've started like 5 different videos the last couple of weeks, and I just keep on deciding that I'm not like into reading books for it, and I'm like the ones that I talk about reading I don't want to read, and so I'm having a hard time right now with filming and with my motivation. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna pick one of these two. At least that's the plan. So it's a couple days later, and I am finally a chunk of a way into a book, so I can come out here and talk to you about it. I ended up reading the first chapter, like the introduction and the first chapter to Dead 11. Wasn't totally sure if I was feeling that one. It was definitely wild. It's definitely interesting. I just don't know if it's what I want right now. And then I started in on Cleopatra by Saara El Arifi, and I wasn't totally sure about this one to start with too. I love the writing style in this. It's very lyrical and old-timey feeling without being difficult to understand, and I really, really liked that. I think that's huge in a book like this. You have to make it accessible. I think that was my problem with trying Aisha. It didn't feel accessible. If you're not super familiar with like the Muslim culture or like what's going on, I felt like it wasn't as accessible. And this one is. This one is very, very interesting. This is set up as Cleopatra telling her story of her time as, at least it starts out when she's like 18 years old or so, and right before her father, the pharaoh, passes away, and it talks about her becoming pharaoh, and it says that it's going to go on to her having children and things like that. So I am up to chapter 11, 120 pages into this book, and she is pharaoh at this point, and she's supposed to be pharaoh with, and like have her younger brother, when he gets older, be king as well, like next to her, and their eunuch slash her brother's mentor is kind of shady. Like, you know right from the beginning, because it's like her reflecting on her life, so you know right from the beginning that he's going to be involved in some way with trying to undermine her or get her off the throne, basically. And the point where I'm at now is where that is really beginning. It's really interesting so far. Like I said, The writing is very, very accessible. She just met Julius Caesar for the first time. I think it's really, really interesting too because she's supposed to be gifted by the goddess Isis, and she has her mark. However, she feels like she's been forgotten by the goddess because she's never had any gifts manifest at this point. She is 21, and it's very unusual for powers of some kind, a gift of some kind, not to show itself by this point in her life. And so she feels like she's been forgotten and she doesn't understand it. So she tries to act like she was gifted healing, because that's something that she can learn. That's something that she can practice to show people that she knows what she's talking about, but it's something that she can learn and implement. She does it mostly in secret, but she can implement that to feel like she has a gift from the goddess. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out and how things are going to work out with her being Pharaoh. I'm really curious to see where this one's going to go. So far, I'm really enjoying this, and my battery is going to die up because of course it is, but I'm going to go and read some more, but I wanted to come and update you first. Okay, so apart from the fact that I now have a new pair of glasses, which I'm really excited about, I did also finish Cleopatra. So I just finished this, and I'm really glad that I read it. So I ended up getting sucked into Cleopatra. Now this is a historical fiction with just a hint of magical realism, and this book is specifically from Cleopatra's perspective about her life and what she went through. And it says in the description, you speak of witchcraft, but my talents came from the gods themselves. They sing of my bloodlust, but I was protecting my children. And it was just, that's exactly what this was. It was literally her take on everything that happened in her life, the way that it actually played out for Cleopatra as a woman in a position of power as Pharaoh, and the deceptions that she had to, thank you Emma, the deceptions that she had to deal with, people turning on her or going against her because she was a woman in power back in the day, and her experiences. You know, she was called a whore because she fell in love with Julius Caesar, and she fell in love with Marcus Antonius, and it was really, really interesting seeing things from her perspective. Now, I don't know a ton about Cleopatra's history or about her lifetime or anything like that. I just know the name Cleopatra. I think everybody pretty much knows the name Cleopatra when it comes to Egypt. Everybody knows it. And I thought this was just such an interesting take on it. I absolutely love the writing style. Like I said at the beginning of this, it is kind of an old-timey feel without being difficult to understand or difficult to follow. It was very much centered around her ties to her family, whether it was her siblings or her father or her ancestors or Egypt itself, because she always said, I am Egypt, Egypt is me, or her children later on. It was such an interesting take on this. I am so glad that I read this, and I kind of wish it was at a better time where I wasn't having so many issues with getting into a book, but at the same time I think this was kind of perfect because this was one that you can kind of slow it down and savor it. Like, I'm glad that I didn't try to fly through this in like one sitting. I still read it really quickly, but I'm glad that I didn't try and rush it. So it was kind of a perfect mix for what I wanted, because you have a little bit of magic in the fact that she was touched by Isis and she was touched by the gods, and so there is that aspect of it. So there's a little bit of magical realism in that, but there's also, it's a love story. It's a love story, and it's reminiscent. I feel like it made me think of Romeo and Juliet a little tiny bit, just with the way that things progress in this book. There's talk about the gladiators. There's talk about a lot of different things in history. I thought it was so interesting. And so yeah, I'm really, really glad that I read this. I ended up giving this 4.5 stars. So it wasn't quite 5 stars. I feel like it got a little bit slow at times, maybe a little bit repetitive. Some things felt like it kind of drug just a tiny little bit. But honestly, I feel like 330 pages for telling her 40-year lifetime story, or I guess like 22 years, because she was like 18 at the beginning of this. But either way, I feel like 330 pages was like the perfect length for this book. If it was any longer, it would have been far too long. If it was any shorter, I feel like we couldn't have gotten the detail. We couldn't have really felt for her as a person, as a character. We couldn't have seen her views of Caesar or of Marcus. And I feel like it was just really perfectly done. So I really appreciate this. I gave it 4.5 stars and I really enjoyed it. So that is the conclusion of this video. I'm going to wrap this up now, and I'm going to start in on something new tomorrow morning. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to start in on something new tomorrow morning, and I will see you guys in my next one. Have you read this yet? I really enjoyed this. I would love to hear if you've read this, if you enjoyed it as well, your thoughts on it. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me for a little bit, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.
I picked pink. I picked pink.
That's red, silly girl.